The Philadelphia Eagles are really making waves right now, all thanks to Howie Roseman's relentless string of strategic moves. It's impressive how he keeps bolstering the team's talent pool. Initially, I figured sticking with the same roster and just tweaking the coaching staff would lead to success, but they're not settling for that. They're actively beefing up the squad with even more talent. It's kind of intimidating, honestly. They've already beefed up both their offense and defense significantly. And the wild part, I don't think they're finished just yet. And everyone is motivated for sure after how last season ended. But before we get into why I think that, I would really appreciate it if you would drop a like and subscribe. It only takes 5 seconds, plus you can always change your mind. So, coming into this offseason, there were some obvious needs that the Eagles needed to fix. And so far, they've filled a lot of the needs that I think they needed to fill. Most importantly, the biggest downfall for this Eagles team last season was their coaching. And I don't think any Eagles fan would try to disagree with that. So coming into the offseason, we knew there was going to be some coaching moves made. And the Eagles found a way to do just that by adding Kellen Moore as their new offensive coordinator. Brian Johnson was an absolute disaster on offense. He brought nothing creative to the scheme, and he made Jalen Hurts' life a lot harder than it needed to be back behind center. And in terms of the defensive side of things, I don't think there's much to say other than they were one of the worst defenses in the entire league. So obviously, a change needed to be made. And I think Vic Fangio is a great option to do that. He is coming from the Miami Dolphins, where he coached a really good defense, even though they had a ton of injuries down the stretch of the season. So I think him coming in with all the talent that the Eagles currently have and the talent they've added so far through the offseason is going to make the Eagles defense in 2024 show a lot more promise than they previously did. But as I said, they didn't only add a new coaching staff, they also added some players, and that's what I'm here to cover. To start off on offense, the first guy you've got to talk about, of course, is Saquon Barkley, coming over from the New York Giants on a 3-year contract worth $37 million. This of course means they're going to be paying him a little bit over $12 million a year for the next 3 years. And while yes, some people might say that's a little bit steep for a running back, I'm not really bothered by it because Saquon is easily a top 5 back in the entire league, if not top 3 when completely healthy. So being able to add his dynamic style to this offense really is going to make it a completely different unit. We've seen him have great season after great season behind a terrible New York Giants offensive line. So I can't imagine what he's going to be able to do behind this Eagles O-line, even without Jason Kelce on it. I know Jason Kelce retiring makes the O-line a little bit worse, but I'm still confident that this O-line is going to be one of the best units in the league. And I also feel that Kellen Moore is going to be able to scheme up a pretty creative run game, which is going to cater around what Saquon Barkley does best. He's obviously one of the shiftier backs in the entire league between the tackles, but he's also a guy that you can get out on the edge and he can make a lot of things happen out there as well, which is something I think we're going to see a lot. Last season, DeAndre Swift was fine, but he honestly just wasn't that great of a running back. So I think adding Saquon is going to take this running game to a completely new level, and it's going to make this passing attack thrive even more because of it. And talking about the passing attack, the Eagles are of course still going to have A.J. Brown, who has proved himself to be a top 5 wideout in the league, and they're still going to have Devontae Smith to pair with him, which gives them one of the best receiver duos hands down. And then to add to that receiving core, they added Devontae Parker to a 1-year deal for just a little bit over $4 million. Devontae Parker, as we all know, is starting to get older, but from what I've seen from him over the past 2 years, I think he can be a really solid third option to pair with what the Eagles already have as their number 1 and number 2 options. I mean, he played for probably the worst passing attack in the entire league last year on the Patriots, and I don't think he played that bad. So I think we're going to see him play pretty solid for the Eagles, with all things considered. So you have a full receiving core that I'm pretty confident in, and then on top of that, you also have a tight end who has proven himself to be one of the best ones in the league, which just gives Jalen Hurts tons of options to work with. And I think Kellen Moore is going to do a great job at optimizing all of them. So overall, I think the talent is there. They just need for everything to come together at the right time, which is the opposite of what happened to end last season. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this Eagles team as we head into the 2024 season. That's really all I got for this one. If you enjoyed, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. And until next time, I will see you all later.